What's good, you guys? I'm back to another video. I tried to do a live video, uh, but I didn't pin out. That's a bummer. My first live on my new channel. I did talk a little bit. I feel like I've wasted 15 minutes. So hopefully my next live video, which will be 11 o'clock Pacific time, or what you're at, if it's Pacific Standard Time. That's what it's called. So check it out. I'm kind of checking out right now. The Karate Kid cartoon. This is wild. So it looks like he's in Japan. I'm assuming he's in Japan. And you got Daniel, and you got what is that? Africa? What's that? Africa? So it's, I don't know, the Asian girl as this. I guess I found out who she is in the story. This is something. This is wild. Look, check it out. Did you? God, look at this is an old cartoon. You can tell it's old. It's on Crackle Roll. You can check it out. I'm not kidding. This is a animated series. You watch it. It's commercials. I'm gonna pause it so I don't get in trouble with that. I don't know what's up with the. I'm probably gonna go back to the other room. The lighting in this room, so is horrible. So I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna go in here when my baby sleeps. That my children don't sleep. So my video, I'm hoping I can, if I do movements. I didn't. I stopped doing that, and that's was it ideally. The thing is I don't like to bring this laptop. I was bringing guys with me. I forgot to grab my phone. I think what I want to do is to read more in my book. Let me the pen. For some reason, this is the light is a bit better. Alright, so here we're gonna get started here with this. I'm gonna read from a little bit of my newer book that I'm writing right now, and this one is called Jeet Kune Do Explain. Jeet Kune Do or Jufeng Kung Fu is a fighting method created by Bruce Lee. Starting with the lead hand. The lead hand is spring in a loaded position and ready to spring forward. The objective is that the straight lead is the newest target. Like it's so this is my straight lead. If this is my lead hand, the nose target is going to be towards my face, as you will see in this screen here. Okay, so that's the idea. My hands are here, and I'm springing forward. That's what I say. Um, that is the whole purpose of Jeet Kune Do, is to intercept your attacker's punch or kick. Now, the translation of Jeet Kune Do is the intercepting fist. But if you watch Longstreet, Bruce understand that and he does end up saying punch or kick. And the deal is you want to be able to, if I'm can draw, I think I have a drawing of that, which I will show you at the end of the video. I'll show you a drawing what that color looks like. I believe it's also in uh, Taio Judo, and it explains. In fact, wait a minute, I do have the book, the Bruce Lee fighting method book on here, a copy on my phone. Excuse me, in my phone. Let me go to that to show you what I'm talking about. Uh, there was talking. Um, let's see. Can I? Oh, yep. There's so here's the book. You can see this. I don't know if you see that too well, where it says fighting method. This is what I want to talk about. A lot of people will miss um label Jeet Kundo. Um, and if you read the book here, it says Bruce Lee, 1940 to 1973. That's the year he died. Bruce Lee flashed brilliantly like a mentor through the world of martial arts and motion pictures. Then on July 20th, 1973, in Hong Kong, like a mentor, like a men, like a meteor, it finished extinguished by sudden death. He was just 32. Bruce Lee began his martial arts studies with Mid Chun on the Togo Lodge of the late Vietman to elevate the personal insecurities instilled by Hong Kong city life. Perhaps he, uh, perhaps because his training uh, developed him, um, him to the point of fantasticism. He was eventually able to refine, distill, and mature into a philosopher, technician, and an innovator of the martial arts. So I'm gonna skip down a little bit of this where so after intensive study he of the different martial arts styles and theories, Bruce Lee delivered a concept of martial arts for the individual man. This concept he later labeled Jeet Kune Do, the way of the insensitive fist. It has an antecedent not only in his physical training and voluminous martial arts library, over 2,000 books put his for his home role as well. Philosophy major at the University of Washington Seattle. Well, we got this. That he talks about his movies that he starred in. Uh, let's just sit here. This project was a enthusiast more than about him. His entire judgment was published, which was now followed by Bruce Lee's fighting method. This fourth series, this fourth series of fighting, which has been compiled and organized by longtime friend M. Oyahara, analyzes some of the many thousands of pictures from Bruce Lee's cultural photos. Follows Oyahara is a former student of Bruce Lee. Um, it's just really cool. That's a little dedication there. Um, I think it says morning. This is looking okay. So I can't read the wrong morning of that, but I know it does say somewhere in here that he did not want the college you can do because another art has the same has the name has the name. Anyways, um, announcement blah 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 introduction. Okay, and this book was making in 1966. The most of the photographs were shot then. The late Bruce Lee intended to publish his book years ago, but decided against it when he learned that martial arts instructor was using his name and promote themselves. It was quite common to hear comments like, "I taught Bruce Lee" or "Bruce Lee taught me Jeet Kune Do," and Bruce may never have seen or known these martial artists. Bruce didn't want to people use his name to promote themselves or their school with false pretenses. He didn't want to. He didn't want them to attract students this way, especially in young teens. But after his death, his widow, Linda, felt that Bruce had contributed so much in the world of martial arts that it would be great loss if the knowledge of Bruce would, would die with him. Although the book can never replace the actual teaching and knowledge that Bruce Lee possesses, it would enhance you in the serious martial artist and developing your skill in fighting. Bruce always believed that martial artists train initially for one single purpose: to defend themselves, whether we are in judo, karate, aikido, kung fu, etc. Our ultimate goal is to prepare ourselves for any situation. To train yourself for this goal, you must train seriously. Nothing is taken for granted. You have to kick or punch the bag with concentrated effort. Uh, efforts. Bruce used to say, if you are going to train without concept that this is a real thing, you are shortening changing yourself. When you kick or punch the bag, you have to imagine that you are actually hitting hitting an adversary. Really concentrating putting 100% in your kicks and punch is the only way you're going to be good. You've already read the three volumes of Bruce Lee's fighting method entitled Self-Defense Techniques, Basic Training and Skills. You are now present with this fourth and final book. These series are meant to let's see if there's a photo of him using the straight lead as the. Okay, so if you, I don't know if you see, can you see that picture? Yeah. So in this photo right here, you see Lee's hand right there. That's it's gonna be it's talking his face. So you see that the hand is in the next picture. You'll see him punching in the face. So it's like a loaded spring, and that's what I was saying in my book. It's loaded. It's like a loaded spring that brings spring forward, as you're seeing it there, in that picture, right? So this is the bone jump stance that Bruce is in, and that's also the bone jump stance. So both of them bone jump stance. Bruce obviously has no protective gear. This guy does. He's the one gonna, and I think that's one thing about Bruce. He wanted to do realism. He wanted to be a realistic in his technique as possible. So in the book I was reading to you guys, uh, and I'm trying to explain the best as I can. I also am a practitioner of Jeet Kune Do. Now I've done it. I love the art, and and not just studying it. Uh, studying the art, but I also read the books and try to have the full knowledge what Bruce was trying to teach to teach his students, and it's a fantastic little thing. So people, this is one thing about people don't understand. The martial art, the Bruce Lee tried to, when he was coming up with Jufon Kung Fu, right? Or which is known as Jeet Kune Do, right? Jeet Kune Do is the philosophy that he uses in Jufon Kung Fu. You gotta keep that in mind. That's a lot of people didn't realize that that's what Bruce Lee was doing. He was using Jeet Kune Do as a philosophy uh, that um, that he uses in his fighting method. Uh, so um, so the problem is that people mistake it as a martial arts, and not it is not, but a fighting method. There's a difference between these systems, because most of your martial arts is based and built in a sport like karate, and that's my base. I talk karate, and there's nothing wrong with karate as a martial arts. I mean, you got things like Seth Philly, and and you got Jesse M. Camp. Both of those. Well, now you got if we got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Those three people are promoting karate, and one thing I think it's funny though when Sensei Self, when he does his tears. I hate the lighting. The lighting in here sucks. When he does the tears for the martial arts, he might watch videos and get the gist. The videos, some of these videos are horrible uh, to go by on. So if you see somebody, I don't know, do trapping hands, or maybe they throw a kick or whatever, and when you watch the sparring of Bruce Lee versus students, I'm gonna, because they do the one thing Jiu can do, you know, is they spar. They have two different types of sparring, light sparring and a hard sparring. That looks like to me was a light sparring. Don't know what kind of type of sparring he did with Chuck Norris. There's no footage of that one. There's evidence of it because Chuck Norris has done a video talk about Bruce Lee and how they spar. So there's I don't doubt we know that Chuck Norris actually did know Bruce. He you have there's a movie that Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris did together, and I'm gonna send it for because there's not much lighting in the room where I was at. My face was go in and out and dark. I don't know why I got light in that room, but I didn't. It was just irritating. That So, anyways, I'm gonna continue with a little bit of this book. I haven't published it yet, so hopefully you like the some of what I have to say in this. So, let me continue on explain uh, Bruce Lee. Jeet Kune Do is its base is Wing Chun, as everybody knows. Bruce trained on it up men. Bruce added boxing, fencing, and grappling. Bruce Lee understands that you need it to be well rounded, even though he possibly may have adapted to his possibly may have to adapt to his opponent's way of fighting, so he could intercept and be able to read their body movement, and that's really hard to do, especially when you started just kind of we not we still uh, green. Um, Jiu-Jitsu footwork is fencing and boxing. It uses pendulum movements not just for kicking but quickly creating space and if necessary. Uh, JKD uses figure jabs called Belgi, which is one of the backbones of JKD. It can be used the same line as the straight lead, and which we'll go ahead and demonstrate. I'm gonna get up real quick and demonstrate that. So you have the straight lead, right? The straight lead like this. Then you have the belch, but the belch is in Wing Chun is that. That's the belch. And the idea is I'm going for the eyes, right? Well, that I can either hit this way, I can go, I can trap and go for the, and go here. I can use tongue cell and come and here. So as soon as I bridge it out, I wanna go in and get those eyes. That's VG or the finger jab. Okay, so that's a little of that. Anybody can practice that as um. Okay. Um. JKD uses feature called BLG, which is one of the backbones of JKD. He use the same line as a straight lead, which I just show you. JKD focus on hitting the vital areas to end a street fight as quick as possible. By hitting at targets such as the groin, um, shin, kneecap, outside the kneecap, leg destruction, uh, temples, nose, eyes, mouth, jaw, ears, solar plex, and throat. Note: you have to train and practice to strike at these talking about using protective gear but control contact while having safety in mind of your partner and use it while light sparring. Protective gear or PPE, wearing a groin cup, safety glasses, mouthpiece, headgear, baseball shin pads for stop hits, uh, body shield or baseball on power fist, and and use of boxing gloves or MMA gloves depending on what you are working on in your training. You also can use training tools like Bob, which is perfect for since Bob has a head and a body. You can put on hands to be more realistic, and you don't have to hold back. I mean, you can fire a punch and hit with 100% with all your might, and you can slap the air and headbutt Bob, and you go pow pow knee to those solar plex, finger jab to the eyes, whatever you can do, whatever you need. Uh, you can trap your hands. You can come in and cut, boom, 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 and use those limbs as a way to defend yourself. Which hopefully one day I'll have a bob and I can show you that. Or if my channel gets big enough, I can use all the gears on here, so I can show you guys more tips and all that jazz. And keep in mind when training with a solo or with a partner, be cautious and train uh, with safety in mind. That's all I have in this book. Um, uh, I wrote a little bit about what I think about um, what I think about people uh, trying to um, what I think about the Kraken. How I think that he would have lost in the All Valley tournament. Uh, and you can see in this scene that he was really nervous. Reality, when you're not nervous, you would tend to flinch up. If you see the training scenes with him and Miyoki, there's no sparring. There's no really real physical contact that he did. I mean, even with even when Daniel did the rocks off, most and rocks on, rocks off, and rocks the floor. Those are the blocks that he was doing the blocks. Uh, this is reminiscent of him block. right? Then you have the blocks that goes down, where you blocking the kicks. Then you have the inside blocks, the painted fence technique. That's more of a that's also a block and also could be a strike. So keep in mind those those you didn't know that those also could be strikes as well. Um, so but if you look at the stance right here, I know it's not the best picture. If you look at the stance, where Daniel's like he has a horse stance. That's a horse stance. You can't tell me if you've never done any karate. That looks like a horse stance. Not the best horse stance, but it's a horse stance. So that's the scene where Johnny beats up Daniel. And if you look at the picture right here, in comparisons, that's basically the same stance, right? His hip legs are the same length. The only difference is, okay, so in the is his feet and his hand, where his hand is. His hand, uh, well here it was up, but curved up to his chin. His other hand it was down low, and that was the scene where after he got up from being tripped, that was thing. So um, like I said, my last video, uh, 2 months want to give you enough time to prepare yourself, especially if you are going against somebody who's more experienced. And unless he's a hand-to-hand combat genius, that and he what he learned from Miss Miyagi was sick in, right? But of course, we don't know the exactly time length. Nah, I mean, you can't be even if he did 5 hours. Like let's say he trained 5 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and he started 6 a.m. and then end his training until so uh or 12 hours. You know, I think he was at his Miss Miyagi's house doing those chores, the box on, more from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. probably 9 o'clock at night, working all day, all night. So he had label, but after he kind of like, man, I'm not learning anything. Miss Miyagi, he said, okay, show me box on, box off. And then he does this number here. Then no. Box off. I can't do it because I don't have another puzzle. But he was like no, right here, and he's correcting. He's correcting uh Daniel's technique. Okay, so uh let me go ahead and read a little bit more of my other book that I have that I have published. I hope you like the book. A new look into a new look into self defense. Uh, um, so a new way of looking into self defense. I can't remember my own title of the book. And so we was left off. Yeah, I won't read too much of it. Um, I think I left off from you going so this picture of both the traditional stance. There's nothing wrong with it with rolling this kind of martial arts. Look at these things. It's too long, and it will take too long to move. The the flowing technique, the downward blocks is not guarding your face. Your or open. There is no way to protect you properly. I think the last time I showed me in a traditional stance versus the uh Bong Joon stance, which is JKD hand. If you see the difference in that stance and this stance, that the it's really long stance. Your grind is exposed. There are too many flaws in this art. Which is, uh, and so I was just writing things, but you. Look, I'm not saying that karate is with all follows, right? Because if you watch anybody sparring, like Saints and Seth, you don't stand like that. You're not fighting that way. Okay, which can confusing why. What's the point of standing that way if you don't spar that way? Um, because you have to when you are fighting or sparring, you have to modify it. There's no other way around the this. I mean, can you imagine if I was in this stance here and I'm trying to fight you this whole time to move, and I'm staying in this stance. Maybe I have my hands just right here, or maybe I decided to put my hands up, knowing that I don't want to get knocked out. If I move here and I keep my hands, and all you ever do is just hit me right in the groin, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I can go. So in street fight, all you ever do is just bam, bam, or a quick, good movement of the kicks. So now if I have my legs close, no, but not too close, like a cat stance, let's say, but my or MMA, what is a better a boxing stance, or is a lot better than the karate stance. If you watch sparring, um, with sense of self, Stephen Thompson, uh, or Isaac Mike, they don't have those elongated stance. This is one thing I do think is abnormal. Uh, that sense of self it stopped for 2 years, and doing karate and learn a different style was just more time. Okay, and more time is great. It's a great close range. Uh, and it also fits in what he already knows. Right, the kicking is a little different. They use clinches. They use elbows. The elbow coming in, striking to the face, the clinching from here, not here, but here because you have more. It's harder to because there's no head. There's no head. So when you hit, you curve your hand, your hand, like you go a step. That's why. Anyways, um, I think I read this part right here. Um, Although karate stance is a strong stance and can work with when you're competing in a sport, unless you're confident that you can make it work. then by all means use it. A stance doesn't make the fighter. The skills that the fighter use it makes the fighter. So you can visualize in what you wanted to accomplish and defend yourself. A natural stance is effective as a ready stance. Any stance can be effective if you make it work for you. A fight is not about getting to a fighting stance. It is about protecting yourself and others and your right to protect whatever you want to protect. Life is precious, so protect it with your life. Okay. So I think what I'm saying is when you get to a stance, uh, find a stance that's gonna work for you. Karate stance, kung fu stance, kak stance, horse stance, uh, MMA stance, boxing stance, etc. Whatever style you're doing, you like the style, you like the stance, I like the how you put where your hands are when you fight. I seen a street fight. Now you can't watch it anymore too well because of the pixel. It's just like old. It's an old street fight, but it was an awesome video. Cause a guy gets into a horse stance, and he's like this. His stance is this, and he's moving like this, like, and he does this number. All of a sudden you see him, and it looks like he does it a wrench him, bam, and knocks out the guy with the wrench him. And it was a punch. The movement come to it, and it was wild motions, flare motions, and all of a sudden you see his hand goes this way, and guy's out. Fantastic. He goes he goes in the um a great horse stance, you know. I'm gonna finish this page here. I'm gonna get out of here because it's about time for me to go get my babies from school. So, um, keep in mind when you get into a fighting stance, you are signaling that you want to fight. The best stance is the stance of walking away. Walking away doesn't make you a coward. It means that you are walking away with your life. And that's true, guys. If you go on to, if you can't walk away, okay, you get to live another day. Um, Knowing how to stand to fight should be natural and shouldn't feel unnatural. Everything should be natural but feel like you can move freely. With the stance you decide to use, you got to remember there are different range in to fight in. Thus, thus is this reason behind this science in the fighting with a stance on whether or not you choose any traditional martial arts stance, MMA stance, boxing stance, or ready position. You must know this footwork. Footwork. I already discussed what the footwork should be. If you have done boxing before, then you should be familiar with the footwork. Using the proper footwork will help you with the range, which I will get into that next. One of the footwork I like is Muhammad Ali's backpedaling. Backpedaling is great to circle your opponent while keeping your eye out for your opponent, so you can seek the opportunity to strike. It is also a good way to box in your opponent and invade an attack. Sidestepping is another great tool to use. Sidestepping is a way to evade, but it also gives you the opportunity to counterattack. By sidestepping, you also can cut and intercept the punch. We'll get more detail in cunning later. Sidestepping you can live or right, while sidestepping you should use a parry as a shield. That way you don't get hit. Evading it is important to learn to use your footwork to help you to evade blows. There are many different ways to evade attacks: bob and weave, ducking, slipping, sidestepping, parrying. Bob and weave. Bob and weave is the motion of ducking and moving to one side to the other side with a counter strike. It is used in boxing and MMA. And in this photo, and while sleeping, I'm covering. Photo 5, I'm moving my head out of the way with a parry and a punch using a counter strike. This will stop the counterattack leading a punch. This technique can be used in sidestepping. Remember, you need to always try to land a counterattack when evading a punch. Meaning, if you and still in the range distance, so you say boxing, and you use the sidestep, you cut, bam, you got that counterattack. You ducking, boom. If you duck, bam. But if you're feigning, like we say, if my kid's toys. Toys I don't really care. Let's see if I can find somebody with clothes on. So, in a sense, if I can get the guy's hand, I don't know who this is. I don't care. The purpose of what I'm trying to show you guys is that if you are, if you are in a reach, and so if you throw a punch and you throw a punch right here, that's the reach. But when if he throws a punch and you are able to have a contract to move your body to a duck, that's when he throws a punch. And since, hey, this guy, I can't get this punch to work too well. To be able to throw a punch and go and hit the body, or if you throw the kick, if you can't get out of time by that, obviously you can't counter. Okay, you can't counter with if he kicks you and you try to get out of it. If you move too far out where you can't reach. Now he's out. He can't punch him, nor he can't kick him. So if he kicks, when he throws the kicks, and he dodge, get out of the way, and he now he's out of the range. Meaning like so. I'm gonna stand up real quick again. I'm gonna show that if I'm here, somebody right here, I'm out of the way. I can't punch, no kick, right? I can't this, but this, but I can come back in to strike. So as I move out of the way, I can pinch them out and then pinch them back in, boom, and strike. That's what I can do, and that's exactly what I'm saying about counter. As soon as you get out, you come back in, you can counter. So, meaning, if I get somebody that's a little better, this guy. So if he kicks, let's say he kicks, he moves out of the way, and he timed it where as soon as he comes back, he can come back with a punch of his own, or he can come back into the kick of his own. In other words, right? So and that's all I got for today, guys. My alarm probably be going off here in a minute. So I'm gonna finish this little paragraph. This using context. I've been a liar, I'm moving my hand away, preparing a punch, blah blah blah. Because this will stop the attacker from letting a punch. They can be used in decisive, but remember you need to always try to learn a counterattack when defending a punch or kick. Practice each movement where you are at home, before work, anywhere you're comfortable. Practice with and without a partner. Meaning shot boxing. Using shot boxing. And this is what I'm talking about. Slipping and parrying. Not a great picture, obviously. Not the greatest picture of that. But hey. Next time is chapter 2. Thanks for watching. And I'm out of here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification if you like hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Peace.